Hey everybody, I'm going to try and make this a quick video, but I wanted to ask a question and give a little perspective. Why do you believe what you believe? Do you believe what you believe because you've really thought it through and you've considered all the points and why you believe it, and you've considered what the consequences are of what you believe and how that influences how you act and how you participate in this world, and how what you believe would cause you to perhaps not look at certain things, how what you believe might cause you to isolate yourself within only a certain group and not be a part of another group, how what you believe would cause you to not take full responsibility for what are real actual problems in this world that affect other people, and really investigate what you believe in terms of whether what you're doing on a daily basis is in fact in any way contributing to or supporting, or at least tacitly accepting and allowing those conditions that would affect other people, that would create living conditions, let's say, that are less than optimal. And if you so why do you believe what you believe? Like, why do you accept the things that you believe? Is it just because when you were very young, that was the beliefs of the people around you, and it just became a part of your life and a part of your memories, and you've just now accepted it and it's comfortable? Or is it that the people that you were around had a certain belief and you rejected that and took maybe the opposite belief, and now that's become a part of you? Or have you really sat down and examined everything you believe and why you believe it and what the consequences are and how it affects you and how it affects others? Because beliefs are powerful. Beliefs are not just something that stays inside of you. Existential belief, any belief that you have about anything. Like, I could say, I believe it's cold outside. And you could tell everybody, I believe it's cold. And then they go outside and it's hot. And they were wearing really warm clothing and now they're sweating. I mean, that doesn't really probably have a big effect on people's lives, just an example, right? But it's something that you would say is trivial, but it does have an effect, right? You could say, oh my God, I believe that so-and-so sexually abused my friend, and then suddenly all the people that are around you get really riled up and then go beat that person up, and then you find out, oh no, I just believed it. I didn't have any evidence or anything, and actually you were wrong. Like, beliefs have consequences, especially when you espouse your beliefs. That's a subjective truth. I don't know what you mean by that. There's no such thing as subjective truth. Truth is objective. So truth is not subjective. The reality is there is a physical reality that we exist in, and the relationships that we formed within physical reality have consequences, and what you believe is the starting point from which you act. It's the starting point from which you participate in reality. It's the starting point from which you accept things in reality or you don't accept things in reality. And if you don't question your beliefs, then the real question is, if someone were to challenge your beliefs and you would then defend them, why would you defend them if you haven't questioned them? And if you have questioned them fully and you really fully understand why you believe what you believe, would you even need to defend? Would you need to prove anything? Or would you simply know what you're doing and why? Would you feel anything emotionally within you? Or is that emotional feeling that you feel when your belief is challenged a form of something within you saying, hey, something's not right? There's something within you that's saying, maybe my belief is not totally solid. It's like if your house is solid, then when it shakes, nothing will fall. if everything is structured properly. But if there's any little point within the structure that is not set up properly, then it will resonate, and that weak point will start to vibrate out of control and will eventually damage the structure. That's called a structural resonance in engineering terms. And that's what that feeling is whenever your belief is challenged. It's like your whole foundation shaking, and it's like, whoa, 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 don't let this shake too much. We got to stop. Because when we haven't examined our beliefs and then people challenge them, then we feel like our whole world is falling apart. So we will subconsciously just suppress that, and we will attack people who would challenge a belief. But the reality is, if someone can challenge your beliefs and you can stand totally firm and solid and not moved at all, and I mean really self-honestly, not just on the outside, like you know within you whether you feel challenged or not, whether you feel like something isn't right, whether you feel defensive, whether you feel attacked. And it's interesting how we can feel attacked by a question, by a simple question. And I guess the real question I'm interested in asking you is, why do you believe what you believe, in the sense that if someone says, well, I believe what I believe, you can believe what you believe, everyone has the right to believe whatever they want, wouldn't that imply that your beliefs are kind of like irrelevant and inconsequential and they don't really matter? Because if you believe something and you really believe it and it matters, then wouldn't it be important that other people accept it as well? Because you're in a reality with other people. You're not actually in a bubble. And this really gets into a deeper point, which is the fact that our mind has become this place where we like live in this like bubble where we think we can kind of get away with stuff and we can just have our own little reality inside of there. There's a helicopter. Right? See, that's a perfect example. That's something that is not inside of me that has an effect on my reality. Right? We're all interconnected. So when I believe something on the inside, that becomes manifested on the outside. And I know this is what I'm about to say next is probably going to piss a lot of people off. But you got to understand my starting point. It's not to upset you. It's to just challenge people to go further. Because if you can question yourself and come away stronger within what you believe or hold to or understand, that would be good, right? But like if somebody were to say, look, anyone can believe whatever they want. Everyone should just believe what they want. Would you say, okay, then somebody who says, well, I believe that children should be raped, would you be okay with that? Now, I know the typical argument would be, well, no, of course. I mean, if your belief hurts somebody else, then you don't have a right to that. Or if your opinion hurts somebody else, which I agree. But then that's going back to my original question, which was, have you really examined all the ways in which your belief internally manifests itself outwardly through either what you physically do and participate in yourself directly, or through what you accept and allow just kind of implicitly or tacitly because of what you believe? Like if you have a belief that, for example, well, everybody just has to work hard, to earn the money that they get. If that's a belief that you have, but then you don't really examine that fully and realize that some people don't work hard at all and have more money than they'll ever need, where some people work very hard and yet they barely can make ends meet, because there's more to it than just working hard, for example, just as an example. But if you were to believe that, and then you were in a position where you can make laws and you can control education systems and you can control all kinds of things that actually affect other people, do you see how that belief to someone in that position would have a big effect in this world? But the truth is, whether you're in a big position like that or just an average person who seemingly has no power in this world, each one of us individually is manifesting this world as it is, all together collectively. So each of our individual beliefs do matter. And someone who's in a position where they have a lot of power is only in that position because a lot of us have given our consent, either directly or implicitly, just through allowing it, for them to be in that position of responsibility, to have power over other people or to have some sort of direct effect on other people. So the point is, your beliefs are not something that they do matter. And everyone knows that. And yet when our beliefs are challenged, then we will get defensive and we will get upset. And we'll get upset about the person who's challenging us instead of realizing that it's not the person that's challenging us. It's like the wind blows the house and shakes the house's foundation, and the house starts to crumble. Is it the wind's fault? Or is it the fact that... See, the wind just blew the phone right out of my hand. All right, no, I'm kidding. I was just not holding it tightly. If the wind blows and shakes the foundation of a house, is that the wind's fault? Or is it the incomplete foundation of the house that would be more to blame? And it's not about assigning blame. I'm just using that word, figuratively. But the point is, the reason for the instability is not the wind itself. The reason for the instability is the instability within the foundation or the structure itself. And if that foundation were solid and done properly, then no amount of wind could knock it down, right? And so when a wind comes along and then the foundation starts to shake and then we get upset at the wind, it's missing the point. That's not taking self-responsibility. That's in fact proving that one is not taking self-responsibility. Because who is responsible for the feelings and the emotions and the thoughts and everything that occurs within us? It can't be anyone else but yourself. In terms of your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions, you're the only one who can take responsibility, because you're the only one who knows really what's going on and is experiencing those things and has the ability to examine them and has the ability to forgive them and let them go and release them when they're not in the best interest of you and everyone else. So we really have to examine our beliefs. And it's a hard thing to do, because it's like they are trapped in a treasure chest that's wrapped up with locks, and there's like electric wire wrapped around it. So if you touch it, you get a zap. So most people don't want to question their beliefs, because the moment they do, they start experiencing so much energy inside of themselves, it's like they can't handle it. Right? So people will instead lash out or get upset or do something irrational, right? But you can prevent that from happening by just simply sitting with yourself and breathing and writing down your beliefs on a piece of paper and looking at them objectively and asking yourself, like, what is the consequence of this? What am I allowing due to this belief and this belief and this belief? And why do I hold that belief? Where did that belief come from? And what is the energy I feel around that belief? And why is that energy there? Why is that feeling there? Is it really serving me? Am I really serving my fellow man and my fellow brother and sister effectively by holding this belief? Does it actually create conflict? If everyone held an opposing belief to mine, or if half the people in the world held an opposing belief, would that create conflict? Is this belief necessary? Is it irrelevant? Does it make a difference? These are things that we should ask ourselves, because what if it does matter? And I mean, what if you're here for a limited time for a reason, to figure out what you have accepted and allowed about yourself and who you've become? And what if this earth is really a place for us to have a little bit of time and space to see the consequences of who we've accepted and allowed ourselves to be, and to change that? But if we just defend our beliefs and accept them without question, then perhaps we're missing that opportunity where we could have changed and we could have prevented some consequence that, without changing it, we're just going to really live within regret about. And I mean, that's really not a way to live, right? Suppressing yourself and constantly defending yourself is not a way to live. But being challenged, that's something else. Because it's only through resistance and challenge that we grow, isn't it? It's not when we feel secure that we grow. And if you're not growing, what are you doing? If you know the answer, put it in the comments. See you next time.